And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Monday morning, May the 8th. As we're waking up, keep in mind if you've got to travel east of Meridian, I-20 is still shut down this morning at mile marker 166. This would be right around the Toomsuba area. We've had an accident overnight. We'll get into all of that coming up at 7 o'clock this morning involving two 18-wheelers. All of that, but traffic is still diverted. It's a mess on the highway as officials work to clean all of that up. So if you've got to travel east, out of Meridian, it is best to take the Jimmy Rogers exit and go to Kewanee and then get back on I-20. That is the way around that. Tidbit this morning as you're waking up and starting it. Right now, 70 streets are still wet this morning, so drive a little bit extra careful. We do have a chance of showers after 3 p.m., about a 30% chance, so that could come back into the forecast. And then as we'll see in a minute, let's go ahead and pull up radar and show you this as we show that tonight we will have a chance for severe weather in northern Mississippi and northern Alabama. As we pull this up to take a look at Meridian Honda radar, this is where it will be tonight. And the further north you go, north of Nashville up to Evansville, Indiana, Indianapolis, Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, and these areas will be a level 2. And then west of here, out in Abilene, west of Texas, that area there will be a level 2. The Meridian area, Jackson, all the way to the Gulf Coast will be fine. But again, northern Mississippi and northern Alabama will be under that level 1 threat of severe weather tonight. Mostly wind, but always keep that in mind. Is it clear to 45? Yes to 45. It's going to be past that toward Toomsuba is where that will be. But to get around that, if you've got to go to Tuscaloosa, anywhere like that, jump off Jimmy Rogers, travel 80, and you'll be able to get around all of that and get back on there at Kewanee. Good morning, Jerome Lee. Glad to see you're with us as well. We'll be back with some of the headlines around the nation this morning as we wake up. We'll let you know what has happened, and then we'll get into your forecast. All that is next. Let's go to Collinsville now. Brother Ben has a message for us to start our day.
In Matthew 27, Pontius Pilate turned Jesus over to his Roman soldiers to begin the long and terrible lead up to the cross where he would die. First, Jesus was scourged. As one study Bible says, quote, Roman flogging was a horrific, cruel punishment. Those condemned to it were tied to a post and beaten with a leather whip interwoven with pieces of bone and metal, which tore through skin and tissue, often exposing bones and even intestines. In many cases, the flogging itself was fatal. The Romans scourged Jesus nearly to death so that he would not remain alive on the cross after sundown, unquote. The scourging caused great bodily injury, but when that was finally over, the soldiers added insult to injury. They began to mock Jesus by dressing him like a ragtag king. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. They twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head and put a reed in his right hand like a scepter. And then they knelt before him, mocking him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit on him and took the reed and struck him on his head. And when they were finally finished, they stripped him of his robe, put his clothes back on him, and led him away to be crucified. Beloved, these are not pleasant details to consider, but they're important details. You see, God has given us these details in the Bible so that we can understand the depth of suffering Jesus endured for us. I'm reminded of the prophetic words about Jesus from Isaiah 53. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Beloved, his suffering leads to our healing. May you turn to Jesus and be healed of all your sins. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Big thank you to Brother Ben. As always, they'll be open Wednesday afternoon. Church services. Drop in and visit with them, and again on Sunday. LaWanda mentioned about the shooting in Scuba. We'll have all the latest that we have on that coming up at 7 this morning. Make sure to join us back for that. To Corey, good morning, all the way from Louisville, Mississippi. Again, 70 as we start our day, and as we look out west, and when I mean out west, I mean California. Remember Scott Baio from Happy Days? He's decided that he's had enough. He's moving, got his house up for sale now. He's going to be moving out of the California sunset. A lot of people doing that with the rampant crime. The robbery charges, do you believe them? Do you not? As we found out more about this against the Biden family, someone had filed this in 2018. Someone had brought allegations against Joe Biden in 2018 to the Justice Department. We're just now hearing about it. Heard that after the whistleblower. How will that end up? I have no idea. It is thick if you read into all of this. We found out this morning that a gunman took out 8 lives yesterday. Texas is where it all happened. Well, it was actually on Saturday that they're at a mall. A lady said that a store worker gathered her and I believe it was 8 or 9 people into a closet for safety. As they would leave later, they would see that she was one of the deceased that the gunman took down. How horrible it is. And they did take down the shooter in the end on that. As we look at this, there's somewhere roughly around 10,000 already lined up to get in as Title 42 is set to expire come Thursday. 10,000 illegal immigrants trying to get in. We've got a mess on our hand with the border. Something needs to be done. We certainly hope it is. 10,000 or so. Taylor Swift fans had to wait 4 hours. Lightning, a storm came up and she couldn't take the stage. And, well, everybody there waited patiently. 4 hours later, she would return to the center stage and finish the concert. So if you were there, you got your money's worth. She didn't bail on you. We also see that, I don't understand all this. This was in Texas as well. As a guy drove into a crowd, killing somewhere around 7 people. Goes to show it's not only guns, it's any means necessary that evil will do evil. Breaks my heart to even have to tell you all these stories that happen each day around the world. But if it can happen somewhere else, it can happen here locally, as we all know. Always be on the lookout for something strange. Report that, anything you might see there. Good morning, Charlie Wiggins. Also, Jeanette McNeil, how are you doing? Amanda Brown, good to see you up and at 'em. We'll check your forecast, dig deeper into this to plan your day. All of that is next. Remember, now, streets are sort of wet from that rain overnight. Roads are slick. We'll check all of that. We'll be right back with your forecast. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Well, as we look at that forecast, this is what we've got as we go back to 2002. It was a warm day, 92 degrees. Anybody remember that? I'm sure no one's around from 1890, but it was a cold day. 41 is what the record was way back when. As we look at the forecast for today, we're looking at 87 in Meridian. As you'll see, we got some showers to the south of Meridian that will happen in the Laurel-Hattiesburg area. Then again, don't forget, northern Mississippi will be the front of some bad weather later on. But 87 through Columbus, even 85 at Vicksburg, cooler in Natchez and down in Brookhaven, about 83 degrees. As we go to Alabama, 86 Demopolis, Tuscaloosa and Birmingham should see somewhere around 86 as well. And we're looking at 86 there to happen in Livingston, Alabama. Now, as we mentioned there, this is the grid there for our friends in Alabama. Damaging winds up to about 60 miles an hour. Anything can't be ruled out, but damaging wind is most likely what's going to be seen with this bad weather in North Mississippi. It will not get even worse to level 2 until you get right past Nashville, Tennessee, and northern from there. As you get into Bowling Green and those areas. Now, the outlook for this, we got a cool front there in Texas. It's in West Texas now, making its way across. Still warmer in Mississippi, and as you get to the edge of Alabama or eastern Alabama into Georgia, even warmer. hot out in Washington. We'll see how that goes. Now, here's our forecast for the week as we go a 7-day outlook. 86 today. Look at these temperatures, upper 80s and into the 90s for the week. 87 tomorrow, 89 on Wednesday, and by Sunday, it looks to be into the 90s, 91. Now, we got slight rain chances each day, anywhere from 30 to 40%. We'll watch these closely. Most of these are going to be afternoon showers. As we go on into May, look at this. Toward the end of May there, we're still sitting in the mid-80s for the most part. By the 15th, we're at 88, and then we'll take about a 4 to 5 degree down mark. We'll go to 85 and 84 there for a little while, but scattered showers nearly every day. Nothing major, but a chance of showers. We'll watch that closely. Our fishing forecast for today, as we go to Chet's Paint and Body, tells us that, well, the perfect time will be this morning around 7 o'clock. Be in the fishing hole by 7:15, and you should be there till around 9:30, according to Chet. Great way to go out and fish. Enjoy yourself. As we begin this day, there's a lot to talk about what's happened over the weekend. I do hope you'll come back and join us in roughly an hour. Bree, how are you today? Say good morning to also Lisa Berry. Good morning. Minnie, how are you doing there? And Melanie, I see you. So many of you joining us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We've got the latest details of what's going on in the area and around all of this, across the state and across the nation. We got Odie in the corner already ready to go this morning. He's fired up. We're going to get another cup of coffee on the pot, and we'll be ready for you in roughly, say 14 minutes from now. Join us, won't you? We'll be right back here live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then we'll also be live on television as well, Fox 30. Join us. You'll enjoy it. It's going to be a great show.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.